Good morning. My name is Tracey, and together with Sneha and Lamisa, we would like to present a support plan for Alex. Alex is a Year 11 student with a passion for earth and environmental science. Although Alex achieved exceptional results earlier in the year, their motivation, engagement, and academic performance have recently declined. Additionally, experiences of online bullying have negatively affected Alex's well-being, identity, and sense of belonging. Several interconnected developmental issues may explain Alex's recent disengagement. Developmental theories of social, emotional, and cognitive development are directly related to Alex's motivation, self efficacy, identity formation, peer relationships, bullying, and cognitive development. According to Erikson's psychosocial theory, adolescents negotiate identity versus role confusion, where they explore personal values, interests, and future career pathways. Alex demonstrates a strong identity linked to environmental advocacy and a future career in environmental science. Kaplan and Flume, as well as Shunk and DiBenito, suggest that adolescents who connect school learning with future goals typically display higher motivation and persistence. However, identity development during adolescence is highly influenced by peer approval. Eccles and Rosa explain that peer relationships and the school climate influence identity and academic engagement. Studies by Arsenal and Juvenin and Graham further highlight the link between bullying, emotional distress, reduced self-worth, disengagement, and long-term impacts on identity and well-being. Research by Copeland et al. And Hamlet et al. Showed that differences in pubertal timing can increase vulnerability to peer victimization and lower self-esteem. In Alex's case, bullying related to environmental interests and their delayed puberty may contribute to lower self-esteem and school disengagement. Albert Bandera's theory of self-efficacy suggests that students' beliefs about their abilities influence motivation and achievement. Although Alex initially benefited from explicit instruction, continued step-by-step teaching may now be reducing independence and confidence. Shunk and Beharis showed that low self-efficacy results from reduced persistence, motivation, and engagement. Jean Piaget's theory of cognitive development suggests that adolescents in the formal operational stage are capable of abstract thinking, problem solving, and independent reasoning. Lev Vygotsky's zone of proximal development further explains that learning is most effective when students are appropriately challenged with support rather than being over-scaffolded. In Alex's case, continued step-by-step instruction may now exceed what is necessary, as foundational steps have already been mastered. This can lead to reduced engagement and cognitive redundancy, as described in Sweller's cognitive load theory.
I will be talking about Alex's developmental issues. Alex is experiencing a combination of academic and psychological development issues that are contributing to declining performance and disengagement from school. A key academic issue is the mismatch between teaching approach and Alex's current level of development. Although explicit instructions initially supported Alex's strong performance in earth and environmental science, the current instruction approach may be limiting his independence and self-efficacy. Structured inquiry learning will be more beneficial for Alex as he has a sufficient prior knowledge, and his learning goals will be more focused in exploration, reasoning, problem solving, and the creation of new understanding rather than initial acquisition of basic skills. It will also develop his critical thinking, encourage independence, promotes engagement, and build problem solving skills. Lowered self-efficacy leads to negative academic effect because it shapes how students think, feel, and behave when faced with learning tasks. According to Bandura's social cognitive theory, self-efficacy influences the choice students make, the effort they expand, their persistence, and their emotional response to challenges. Human functioning depends on three interacting set of factors or influence: behavior, environment, and personal. Here, when Alex, who feels competent about performing well in environmental science, is apt to engage in activities that will help him learn. If a teacher were to remark him how well he is learning in his subject, this remark may substantiate their perception of learning progress and raise their self-efficacy and motivate them to continue to engage more into the subject and productive behavior. Here I'm talking about one of the different development factor, that is social and emotional challenge which Alex is facing. Adolescence is a period of major change. It includes biological, cognitive, and social development, and it marks the transition towards emerging adulthood. Puberty is a key factor of this stage, and it drives many of these changes. During this time, young people like Alex start developing their identity. They are figuring out who they are and what they value. They will begin to seek more independence, and their relationship with family, peers often changes with more negotiations. Research shows that beyond age, school stage, and gender, adolescents who are more advanced in puberty often experience lower academic motivation. This matters because their lower motivation is linked to lower academic achievements. One reason for this could be adolescents become more focused on peer relationships, social identity, and emotional change, which will shift their attention away from schoolwork. Impact of bullying on social identity, which is one of the very important development factors in Alex's case. Bullying significantly impacts adolescent development, particularly by affecting identity formation, social relationship, and psychological well being. During this time, young people are developing a stable sense of self. Bullying can disrupt this process, causing them to question important and valued aspects of their identity. In Alex's case, the bullying targets both physical development, late onset puberty, and their identity as someone who value environmental advocacy. This leads to identity conflict, where part of Alex's identity that were once positive are now associated with social rejection. As a result, Alex may experience confusion, withdrawal, and a reduced sense of self worth. Bullying also infects social relationships by weakening a student's sense of belonging. Since peer acceptance is highly important during this time, ongoing bullying can lead to social isolation, avoidance of peers, and reduced participation in classroom activities. It also affects psychological well being. Increased anxiety and stress can interfere with attention, memory, and learning, as students may become more focused on social threats than their academic task.
Now, in this slide, we're going to discuss how we can support Alex academically and motivationally. To do so, there are several evidence based strategies implemented in order to rebuild engagement, independence, and confidence in learning. The first strategy that we can see on the left hand side is the gradual release of responsibility model, which is often summarized as I do, we do, you do. Initially, here, the teacher models the task, then students practice it collaboratively before they independently apply their knowledge. For a student like Alex, this is important because the continued overuse of the explicit instruction has created dependency on teacher's guidance and reduced self efficacy. Gradually, reducing the scaffolding would encourage Alex to become more confident and more independent learner. Now, the second strategy, which we can see in the middle, is the differentiated learning task. Since Alex has already mastered the foundational and the basic scientific concepts of this subject, environmental science, continuingly repetitive step by step activities is contributing to boredom and disengagement. Therefore, what we can do is we can introduce different layers of tasks where some students can complete the foundational work while extension activities will also allow Alex to engage in deeper environmental problem solving and inquiry based learning. This better aligns with Alex's capability and passion for environmental science. Now, the final strategy on the right hand side, as written, will be focusing more on rebuilding self efficacy. According to Bandura's theory, we know that students will develop confidence through mastery experiences and positive feedback. Teachers can support this by providing achievable knowledge, achievable challenges, recognizing the progress, and focusing on the feedback on effort strategies. At the same time, consistency and persistence is also important rather than the fixed ability. These small successes can gradually restore Alex's confidence and motivation towards learning. Okay, now the next slide is about engagement strategies. In addition to academic intervention, engagement strategies are essential in reconnecting Alex with school and learning. In this slide, we're going to mainly focus on three important engagement strategies. The first one is inquiry-based environmental projects. Second one, choice-based assessment. Third one will be peer collaboration. Let's start talking about the first one. One of the effective approach will be inquiry-based environmental projects. Research shows that students are more motivated when their learning is meaningful and connected to real-world issues. Alex could investigate local sustainability problems such as waste management or climate impacts within the community and propose an evidence based solution. This promotes critical thinking, independence, and personal relevance. Now, the next strategy is choice based assessment. Rather than just relying solely on traditionally written tasks, Alex could demonstrate learning through posters, presentation, reports, podcast, or digital storytelling. Providing choice increases the student agency and allows student like Alex, to connect personal interest with academic learning, which may improve both motivation and engagement. Last but not the least here is peer collaboration. Now, what does peer collaboration does is it will help rebuild Alex's sense of belonging at school. Structured group work projects with supportive peers can encourage positive social interaction and reduce feelings of isolation, which can be caused by bullying. Collaborative activities will also promote communication skill and shared problem solving and emotional support. These are particularly important during adolescence as well. So, this peer collaboration strategy will not only prepare Alex for school, but at the same as a teenager, but it will also prepare him to face the challenges when he actually become an adult. Now coming to next slide is the innovative solution. This slide presents several innovative strategies which will design to rebuild Alex's engagement and motivation, confidence, and sense of identity through meaningful and student-centered learning experiences. Now, the first strategy we will talk about is to create eco-identity projects. Since Alex strongly identifies with environmental advocacy, providing opportunities to express his passion in authentic ways can help him to reconnect with learning. Alex could develop a school-approved environmental portfolios in the form of posters, blogs, or awareness campaigns, which will focus on sustainability issue. What it does is it's gonna promote creativity, confidence, and a stronger sense between learning and real-world purpose, while also restoring Alex's positive sense of identity. The next strategy would be an environmental mentorship program. Here, Alex would be paired with a university environmental science student or a sustainability ambassador, or it could be a member of a local environmental organization within his area. So, through mentoring sessions, guest speakers, and reflective journals, that way Alex could receive encouragement from individuals who share similar interests and career goals. That way, it will strengthen his identity, improve motivation, and provide support outside the negative culture of peer bullying, which he was facing in the school. The last strategy that I want to talk about is digital storytelling project. So it's a very interesting strategy. So what he would do is he would create a short documentary, podcast, environmental awareness video, or it could be a multimedia campaign about an environmental issue that he is very passionate about. For example, he can talk about wildlife issue in the environmental setting. So this approach will encourage independency, and it will also generate creativity. At the same time, it will also give Alex an authentic platform to express other students' voice and ideas. Research suggests that digital storytelling will increase student engagement, agency, self-efficacy because students become more active creators of their knowledge rather than passive learners. It also allows learning to feel more personally meaningful and relevant. Additionally, I feel with this strategy, it strongly aligns with multimedia learning and could be demonstrated in our presentation, like through mock social media posts on Instagram, infographic examples, or short video clips, in order to model how the intervention may look like in practice.
To effectively support Alex, collaboration between teachers, parents, and wellbeing staff is essential. Consistent communication helps to ensure that both the school and home environments provide encouragement, emotional support, and clear expectations. Men et al. Reported that positive homeschool partnerships improve student motivation, belonging, and academic outcomes. Information regarding supports will remain positive rather than deficit-based and confidential. Teachers can assist in monitoring Alex's well-being at school, engagement, and any ongoing impacts of online bullying. The school counsellor or well-being team may also assist by supporting coping strategies, resilience, and peer relationships. Within the classroom, teachers can collaborate to provide appropriately challenging learning experiences that build Alex's independence and self-efficacy, rather than relying on excessive or redundant scaffolding. Recognizing and celebrating Alex's strengths and interest in environmental science will additionally assist with motivation and engagement. Most importantly, involving Alex in decision-making about goals, supports, and learning strategies will help strengthen their autonomy, confidence, and identity development during adolescence.
In conclusion, Alex's disengagement from school is not caused by a single issue, but by a combination of academic, motivational, and social emotional challenges. While explicit instruction initially supported Alex's success, the continued over scaffolding reduced independence, self efficacy, and engagement. At the same time, ongoing bullying negatively impact Alex's identity, confidence, and sense of belonging at school. To effectively support Alex, it is important to implement student centered and evidence based intervention that promotes autonomy, meaningful learning, and positive social connection. Strategies such as differentiated inquiry based learning, mentorship opportunities, and digital storytelling can help rebuild confidence, strengthen identity, and reconnect Alex with their passion for environmental science. Ultimately, through collaboration between teachers, parents, counselors, and peers, schools can create supportive learning environment that empower students like Alex to thrive both academically and emotionally. Thank you for watching our presentation, and the next slide is all our references.